Um, Tonight is Rav Kook's yurtzeit. Rav Avram Yitzhak Cohen Kook, first chief rabbi of Israel. He lived between 1865 and 1935. And at a certain point, he was the Rav of Yafo and Moshavot. Eventually became chief rabbi of Israel. There's probably one of my favorite stories connected to him. It's connected to that time period when he was the rabbi of Yafo of Jaffa. And at that time, there was a lot of tension in Israel between the new settlement and the old settlement. Those who were the pioneers who were building the land, they were antagonistic to religion, and on the other side, those from the old Yeshuv, they didn't view them in a positive light. They thought they were breaching the Torah and bringing in foreign culture into the land. There was a lot of infighting in the land. Rav Kook wanted to bring people together. That was his whole thing overall. He was very big into unity on a spiritual level, interpersonal. And so in an attempt to do so, he arranged a trip of 10 rabbis where they visited 27 settlements in 1913 in the north, 26 settlements. Kind of go there to connect with them, to strengthen them in Yiddishkeit. So one of the visits, he visited a settlement called Poria in the north, and we have an account of that visit from Avraham Rosenblatt. He wrote a testimony 57 years later. We have that testimony. It's like an amazing story. So Rav Kook arrived there with two other rabbis. I don't know where the other 7 were at that visit. And when they arrived there, he says, we had finished eating, as Avraham Rosenblatt says this, we were dancing and singing, God will rebuild the Galilee. Rav Kook and his group he was with, they entered, and then Rav Kook joined in to dance with the men. So already Rav Kook was showing, hey, we're together. We're one. We're dancing together. But that wasn't enough. Rav Kook went to the next level in showing how connected he was to them. He took 2 men aside, Avram Rosenblatt and Pinchas Schneerson. And Pinchas Schneerson was around the height of Rav Kook. So they were dressed at the time, the around 60 or so pioneers in that settlement, young men. They were dressed in Arab cloaks and keffiyeh headdresses with rifles slung on their shoulders. That's how they were dressed. They were protecting themselves, protecting the settlement, and they were working in the land. They needed to protect themselves from the sun. So Rav Kook pulled them aside, and he asked for Pinchas Schneerson's outfit. And it's recorded this way. He took off his shtreimel, and he put on the keffiyeh and the rifle, and he returned back to the group and started continuing dancing with them. It's a rare sight for somebody from the ultra-Orthodox community to reach out to that community, yet alone dance with them, yet alone start dressing like them. It's a very rare sight. So Rav Kook continued dancing with them. He started to sing the Taher Libeinu as he was dancing, Purify Our Hearts. Then he said, Dear brothers, builders of the land, just as I am not embarrassed to wear your garments, so too I request do not be embarrassed by the Torah of Israel. I'm not embarrassed to try on your garments. Don't be embarrassed to try on mine. And he concluded his address saying, I will not remove the uniform of your guard unless you promise me, all of you, with one heart and a willing soul, that you will fulfill my request. I ask that you guard your Jewish spark, your Pintel Yid. And they all cry out, we promise. So he ended up dancing with them for another hour, and the next day they ended up helping them kasher their kitchens there and teaching them laws of kashrut. That's one account of the story. Another perspective on this is, he says like this is Zev Horowitz from Kibbutz Geva. He says, I will never forget that image. Rav Kook, a tall, handsome man with a high hat, spied a security guard wearing a Bedouin cloak. He said, let's exchange. I'll take your rabbinical cloak and you'll take mine. So already saying that their cloak was a rabbinical cloak, that was a special thing. He goes, how are our spirits soared? At the end, the Rav announced, I wore your clothes and you wore mine. So it should also be on the inside, together in our hearts. I really love that message. This idea that Rav Kook was not just trying to bribe them, but he was trying to say, I'm willing to try on your cloak. I'm willing to see the good in what you're doing. Are you willing to see the good in what we're doing and what the religious community is doing? I think that's what we really need to see today, overall in the world, in America, in Israel. Try to try on somebody else's shoes or try on their keffiyeh or their cloaks and enter into where they are. Try to see the good in other people. If each of us do that, we'll see a lot more blessing than what we see right now. B'ezrat Hashem, we'll see good things for ourselves and for the nation.